Welcome, everybody. It's another episode of Meet and Greet tonight, and we have an interesting mystery guest with us. And we will be going straight into the meeting after we have exchanged our usual pleasantries. So, I'm sure we know the drill by now. How has your day been? Dr. Aderoide, let me start with you. How has your day been?
Well, okay. Today has been okay. Much lighter than it was yesterday. Yesterday was a little hectic. But today just made two major memos passed down to Provost primary. So,
Okay,
good.
that's good. Good that you had a light day. That's awesome. Dr. Seun Durojaiye, how's your day been?
My day has been busy. It's been eventful, but thank God I've been back to back. I had to take my daughter to hospital for an appointment, and then just got back. And my husband's actually arriving from Nigeria tonight, so excuse me if I have to dash downstairs for 5 minutes to open the door and give him a good welcome. And then I'll be back. But it's been a good day. It's been a good day. It's been a good end to a good week. So I'm grateful to God.
That's good. That's good. Abimbola Zaha, let's hear from you. How has your day been? Tell us about your day in summary. Abimbola Zaha, are you there? Zaha Beige, let's hear from you. Maybe she's not ready. Ayofeoluwa, let's hear from you. You can unmute yourself.
Come back again because I didn't hear the question you asked.
How has your day been?
Thank God. My day has been great and awesome. I thank God.
What did you do today?
Today I'm off duty, so I didn't go to work today. I only used today to rest and sort out some things. I thank God
very
for
good.
today.
That's good. I went to work today. Today was a bit busy. I worked in a new place, so I was busy trying to adjust. To the place. Brother Solomon, how has your day been?
I'm fine.
Good to see you.
Thank you, ma'am.
How has your day been?
Thank God. It's been awesome.
That's good. That's good. It's been fine. It's been fine. It's been a fine day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So before we go into the mystery guest for tonight, we'll just have a brief discussion about why it is difficult for people to be committed in a relationship, to be committed to a relationship. Why do we think it's difficult for people to be committed to a relationship? And I'll put Dr. Seun Durojaiye on the spot down.
There are various reasons I can think about why people will find it difficult to commit.
Okay.
One is expectations.
Okay.
One is, I think currently at the stage of life that I and a lot of my friends are, what we're finding is when people have been single for a while. So you have someone who has been a bachelor for about 50 years. It takes a lot of flexibility and malleability to be in a relationship and to marry. So if it looks like the demand and the expectation is too much on you, you might just decide, you know what, I can't bend, I can't be giving someone my whereabouts, I can't be revealing details of my finances, all because of that prolonged level of singleness, I'd imagine. So one is expectations, two age and stage of life of people, I imagine. If you have someone who maybe is older, more ahead, people that have had bad experiences, another reason. So if, for instance, you were in a relationship that has been abusive, feel like you've received the short end of the stick, it will take God helping you and cleansing you to approach every new relationship afresh with an open heart, so that, because someone might do something and you are interpreting the person's actions based on what you have experienced before, whereas the person maybe just made an innocent mistake. When that happens repeatedly, you might just decide, you know what, I'm not even doing it again. All men has come, as they say, or something. So off the top of my head, those are three things that come to mind. I'm sure others will have more to share as to why people can find it hard to commit.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you for setting the ball rolling. Who is going to take over from her? Why do we think it is difficult for people to commit? I will let Ayanfe Oluwa take over from here. Why do we think people find it difficult to commit to a relationship?
I will borrow what my mommy or my sister has just, one of those things she just said now. Though I'm on my way, I'm having a vigil tonight, but I'm on my way, but I will.
Okay.
I'll try as much to be brief. But I'm still with you on this meeting. I'm in the meeting. So one of those things that makes people not to be committed in relationship, like like what she said, because excuse me, something happened, like, let's say some months ago. It's more than a month. Let's say more than a year and some months, if I'm correct. There was a lady that I just dated her. I think I told you now. I dated her for maybe 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I went to meet her at Bagada. That the Domino Pizza at Bagada. That was where I met. I went to meet her there. So getting there, because we had misunderstanding, and she was saying that she can never trust any man, she can never trust any guy, and because of that was how I ended the relationship. So lack of trust can make people not to be committed in relationship, and their previous bad experience. If somebody had abusive experience in the marriage, in the relationship, or if something unpalatable was exhibited through the other partner, it will make one not to be committed. And if you now see another person, you're like, they're all the same, and that is how this mentality came in, or setting, that all men are the same or all ladies are the same. So mindset too is part of it. Mindset.
Okay. Do we think that economics plays a role in the way people are committed, or the way people decide to become committed? Who is going to answer that one? Do we think economics plays a role? Dr. Ogunlade, let's hear you. Prof. Ayedu, do you want to answer the question, sir?
Just to make a comment.
Yes, sir.
I think the economic situation plays a part in the commitment. If it's only one side that is supplying all the needs of the family, it will get to a stage, it becomes a problem, and the side that is supplying all the financial needs of the family will start feeling, you two should be bringing something now, and that can cause some strain and develop into a lack of trust. The commitment will not be fully there again. And that's why we always advise both to be working and they are able to bring something to the table. It won't be equal, we know, but it should not be only one-sided. It can cause some strain in the relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Fatola, what do you have to contribute to this discussion? I hope you heard the question. Let's hear you.
Yes, I heard.
Let's hear you. Let's hear your views on this matter.
Yeah, for the first question, I would say sometimes even childhood trauma can have an impact can significantly affect somebody committing or deciding to commit. Has got an important role to play. With the economic situation, I will agree with Daddy significantly. Except there is that understanding, or somebody or the other person knows that this is just a temporary phase, and things will get better and evolve. And sometimes the way I look at it is that I always follow this part of the Bible: "He who is faithful in little."
Sorry about the noise.
Okay, so even in that little, they are not even faithful, as in, okay, you don't have much to sacrifice in the relationship, but there should be that kind gesture. There should be that you should be seen trying, even if you have 500 naira, at least 50 naira. Sparing 50 naira out of it shows a bit of commitment. And so in the nearest future, if you can afford more, then there is a possibility that you will give more. But even out of that 500 naira, you are saying, I don't have enough money, I'm collecting half salary, you're collecting more than me. Then even if you have more than that in future, it's not obvious that anything will be coming forth. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that contribution. Abimbola Zaha, I saw your hand. Let's hear you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, the times that we are in are not very pleasant, right? And life is quite difficult for certain people. So things are expensive, life is happening, and so that also can affect people coming together to say, oh, we want to get married, because then again, it used to be the life of one person catering for themselves, and they are now catering for two persons. Also, when you ask the question of why people are uncommitted, someone said childhood trauma, very true. Someone also said past relationships and people not healing from their hurts. That also makes people, and people being too single for so long, people being too single for is the word too single? So single for so long that they forget that they even need to get married, or that they even desire marriage. That used to happen to me. I didn't even care. I just wanted to focus on whatever I needed to focus on, to work, do what I was just focused on, fulfilling purpose. I wasn't interested. If love comes, it don't come, we move. That was my mentality, right? So many times you are too in your shell to do what you need to do, forgetting that you once desired this. How about you actively work towards being present and getting ready to be in a relationship, right? So that happens a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Because so I know some people that keep saying they want to be in a relationship. They keep saying things like, introduce somebody to me. But if they get introduced to somebody, it's as though they put fire one moment, and then after that, there is no more fire. And you wonder that what is going on? Do you really want this, or you don't really want this? And so it's a bit of a dilemma, that why, if you say you want this, why are you not committed? Or why are you not willing to be committed to this course? I guess there are also spiritual reasons. Nobody has mentioned spiritual reasons. why people are not committed. Dr. Ogulade, let's hear your views on this topic. Ajibola Ogulade, let's hear your views on this topic, please. Thank you. You are muted, though. I hope you are with us. Okay, maybe he's busy. Theo, are you there? Let's hear your views on this topic. About commitments, why people are not willing to be committed. You can unmute yourself. Let us talk and make it an interactive session. And what can be done to help? What do we think can be done to help people to become committed? What can we do to help people with the lack of commitment? Mommy Ayedu, we've not heard your voice. Let's hear you, ma.
Motivation.
Well, listening, ma.
I don't know. How do you motivate somebody to? If you can motivate that person to be committed by your action, either on both sides, you have to ginger one another up. If one is cold, the other one should be hot, or one should try to make the other person at least come up warm. If you are really interested, you try as much as possible to motivate the person.
Okay.
And see each other often.
Yeah. Be concerned about what's happening in each other's lives. Inject some passion.
It's a very difficult topic, you see.
Some passion into the relationship. Yes, still, is it?
I say it's a very difficult topic to
Really?
try and motivate people to be interested in each other. Like Prof is saying, like your mom is saying, the reasons are a lot, are enormous, you see. And I, for instance, I don't know, apart from advising somebody, there's not much I can say here. Because people are adults and they have their reasons for probably not coming together or continuing if they are together already. So I would say it's a very difficult topic. Depends on what actually is going on between them, what seems to be the stumbling block, if you are able to know that. Okay. Apart from the spark, I mean, in every relationship, the beginning there's a spark. Then later on, there's a period of latency.
Okay.
Okay, there's a period of latency. Which if you don't take care, it leads to separation. So what I would just say is that whatever the stumbling block is what should be sorted out.
Okay.
Am I making sense?
Oh, yes, you are. You are. Thank you very much. I think there's sometimes just fear. People are just afraid of the future. They are afraid that it might not work out, and so they stop from taking that first step. They have inertia. They just don't move. Jesu Tofumi, your hand is raised. You can unmute yourself.
I don't know.
Let's hear you.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yes. So I think, and they've all said well, But I think another tangible reason is incompatible goals and value. Because in a relationship, when you notice that your vision is not actually what your partner tend to have, that can actually cause another problem in that relationship. It can actually make one partner not to be committed in that relationship. Then also, I think communication problem too is another key in any relationship. If the communication if the communication is not actually good enough in a particular relationship, it can actually make one partner not to be committed to that relationship. So I think that's the 2 points that I have now.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you
think
very
I
much.
agree to that. I agree to that. And what I will add to is that I think honesty is very important. Honesty, to be honest with each other. If something that you can do or you could do, just come out and say, I can do this, I can provide that, I can honor this, I can go here, I can do that. And if you can't, honestly, I mean, like my people say, you should be like an open book in the relationship. You know, if someone has nothing to hide, then you should be like an open book in the relationship.
That's the way it should be. In an ideal world, that's exactly the way it should be. When two people have decided they want to go into a relationship, they should be honest with each other.
And also give and take.
Yeah.
I think we've discussed this thing before, but I don't want to go there. Everybody come into the relationship with the 100% of themselves. Okay. But the space takes only 100%. Okay. So people have to shed their 50 so that the two of them will be in the space of 100%. Because the place can't take 200%. It can take only 100%. Why are you smiling?
I am understanding you. I'm listening to you.
Okay. We all come into the relationship with our baggages. Okay. But the space can take so much. So we have to share some of the baggages so that we come together to occupy that space. Are we prepared to share that baggage? That's the question.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. That's an interesting analogy. So we will go straight into the meet and greet for today. Who has guessed who our mystery guest is today? Who is our mystery guest? Ayanfe Olua. Okay, we are going for video. Who are we going to ask this question? Jesu Tofumi, who is our mystery guest? Ayanfe Olua, your hand is raised. Did you want to say something?
Yes. Can I talk now?
Yes, you can. Sure, go ahead.
I want to answer the question you asked. Is Sister Seun? I don't know. Maybe Sister I should call her or Mrs. or Miss Seun.
Anyone is fine.
Is the one, Abi?
Yes.
Okay, you have guessed because our camera has been on since we came.
No, it's not because our camera has been on.
Apart from praising child, our camera has been on.
No, it's not because of that.
Okay, you have got it right. Let's just say you have got it right. You have done very well. Mommy Ayedu, your hand is raised. Okay, you can put that in your hands up.
No, please.
Okay. All right. Welcome, our mystery guest. Dr. Seun Durojaiye is our mystery guest for tonight. We are very happy to have her. And she's also not a frequent face.
I was going to say that must be the reason.
Which is why we are able to pick her out like a sort of.
I was going to say that must be the reason.
Okay. It's good to have you. Thank you for joining us. You're part of us anyway. We hope you join us more often, not just when you're on our meet and greet. But yes, she's our mystery guest tonight. And the drill is you introduce yourself to us in your own words, and then we'll start asking you some questions. And then we'll take it from there. Over to you.
Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to be here. I will try to make more meetings. I'll try to make more meetings. I can only try to commit. As Timmy goes. Introducing myself, how far or how deep do you want me to go? Shall I give you a 2-sentence summary or a whole paragraph or a whole page?
3 minutes.
3 minutes is long, bro. I don't have that much.
So go for it now.
Yeah.
By the time you tell us your primary school and your secondary school.
Okay.
Now, where you're from and your favorite food, you would have said a lot.
Okay. So my name is Seun. I really like my middle name. I didn't like, when I was growing up, I didn't like my names. I didn't like my first name. I felt it was too common. There was Seun tall, Seun dark, Seun glasses, Seun short, Seun fat. Everybody was Seun. But as I've grown up, I've come to appreciate the meaning behind the name and what it means as in terms of, just what it represents, a life of gratitude and thanksgiving. So that's my first name. My middle name, I also didn't like, but now I absolutely love. It's Omolabake. And that's what my mother-in-law calls me. So she had called my first name. It means a child to treasure. And my surname now is Durojaiye. It used to be Akingbades. I was born into the family of the Akingbades after a long period of secondary infertility, which explains my name and also explains my younger brother's name because he didn't think he was going to be born. So he's Oluwaseyi because it was literally a miracle. I was born and bred in Lagos, Nigeria. The second of 3 children. So I've got 2 brothers. I've got an older brother who's 10 years older than I am, and I have a younger brother who's 5 years younger than I am. Interesting family dynamic because we never met each other anywhere. When I was in primary school, I think my brother was already about finishing secondary school or something. Basically, I didn't even meet him anywhere. And then my younger brother is 5 years younger. I went to primary school in Lagos, Mayday Nursery Primary School in Solo, and then went to Command Day Secondary School in Ikeja. My mom was a military woman, served in the military for many, many years, which was why my brother and I went to Command. I went to Command Ikeja. My older brother went to boarding house Command Ikeja. My younger brother, by the time he was born, I think my mom was close to 40. So by that time, they were a bit soft-handed, all that whole command and discipline thing. He just went to private school. From secondary school, I gained admission into the University of Ibadan, 1998. I finished secondary school 98. But you know our cohorts, we did JAM 98, then we entered university 99 after a long period of waiting at home and strike. Yeah. I wanted to study medicine. I've always wanted to study medicine. I don't think I ever considered an alternative career pathway. Unfortunately, my JAM score wasn't high enough to get into medicine, so I got in for physiology. And I was fortunate to be able to change my course of study to medicine in 200 level and graduated as a doctor in 2006. Did all the regular rigmaroles, house job, NYSC. I met my very wonderful husband I don't remember when I met him, maybe 2002, but we started dating in 2004 anyway, and we got married in 2008. So we'll be married, it'll be 15 years December. And we have a set of twin children, who are going to be 5 on Monday. That's another reason why I was running around today, Timmy, because I was trying to order cake last minute. So they're going to be 5 on Monday. Their names are Oluwatobi and Oluwatoni. Again, a testament. You know, when you're Nigerian and you're Christian, your names have meanings. We don't just give our children names like Apple and stuff. Or say, I just like the sound of it. So there's another massive testimony to their names, which is why their names are Oluwatobi and Oluwatoni. And I've said I'm a doctor, I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I'm a GP, so I practice. I currently reside in Newcastle, which is in the north of England. I've lived here for about 10 years. I've lived in the UK for about maybe 15 years, 14 years, and of the 14 years I've lived in the north of England for 10 years. I'm born again. I love God. I love my family.
Awesome.
And I have wonderful friends. One of whom is Timmy.
You had to slow that in, didn't you?
I had to slow that in because it is with forgiveness that I'm saying that, because someone will call me and send an email and WhatsApp, but you know, Timmy is a solid person, good peoples, as we say. She's good peoples. Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Thank you for that quite broad introduction. So I'm sure we have many questions that we would like to ask her. I don't know who wants to set the ball rolling to ask her a question. Let's have our hands up so that we can make it lovely and interactive. Yes. So questions. Let's ask her questions.
Yes. Can you tell us what really attracted you to your wonderful and lovely husband?
Quick question. Let me just shut the door. I'll be back. Sorry, quick comment. I'll just shut the door. I'll be back. Okay. So what attracted me to him? Interestingly, you know, whenever I tell people about my husband, I tell people that I hit the jackpot. And I say that because I don't think I understood the entirety of what I was getting when I said yes or when we got married. So he's just a good person. But at the time I met him, why did I like him? That's interesting. So one, he knew God. You know, that was important. I was grounded in fellowship. I wasn't going to be attracted to anybody who wasn't.
No.
Sorry, yes?
I said this. I don't
Oh, okay. I think there's another conversation ongoing.
Sorry.
No worries, it's fine.
You tell the person. Go on.
Can I go on? Okay.
Go on.
So a few things. One, he knew God. He obviously liked God. Loved God. He was active in his church where he served. I knew his circle. I knew his friends. I knew his family somewhat. So I didn't know his family very well because I wasn't born and bred in Ibadan, but I knew people that knew them, and they only had very good things to say. We got along very well. So we talked, we chatted. We didn't start out in a relationship. I actually used to tease him because I thought he liked a friend of mine. Another classmate of mine. So we bonded on that level. And then the pastor of my fellowship was trying to, well, let's just say there were other people that I knew. So I used to tease him about that. But then we got friendly. So I knew his family. I knew people that knew him. Everybody only had good things to say about him and his family. He had good friends. He loved God. He was an active, you know, he served in church. You know, that was important to me. And I was attracted to him. That was also very important. So I liked how he looked physically. I liked the fact that we got along. He's older than I am by 5 years. So by the time we started dating, he was already working. So maybe that also played a role in looking at, you know, the big guy who wasn't a student, who used to come and see me, you know, from Abuja and stuff like that. But I liked him. I think now, so obviously, we prayed about who you're going to get married to, but I think I have more insight and more knowledge now. And that's why I think I just got lucky. Maybe it was praying in tongues, maybe it was retreats, maybe it was prayers of our mentors and our parents. But he's a good person, and every year he's just revealed himself to be a much better person than even beyond what I saw. Like you meet somebody and you like them for the 20%, but then you realize that we've been through a lot together. I've been married 15 years, and in all those 15 years, I can tell you, solid man, good man,
Awesome. I think it's a very good testament to be able to say somebody is a good man.
Yeah, as in, even if I wasn't married to him, I would always say he's a good person. I always say he's a good person. Everybody that works with him, everybody that knows him, he's good people. And
Yes.
and also you see, God is a wonderful person. I am quite unique in my character, my personality, and the way I do things, so God just gave me somebody who fits me. Without going into detail, the way our household runs, the way we do things, the way we parent our children, I don't think I could have been successfully married to many people, many men. So
Awesome. God is a good matchmaker.
Yes. Indeed he is.
Do we have more questions for her? Let's make the seat very hot for her. The seat is too cold. It's supposed to be a hot seat. More questions for her. Yeah.
Shall I hear?
How has it been? Yes, go on. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Seun. Good to see your face. So
why are we not seeing your own face, Sister Shola?
Sorry, I'm in bed.
Sorry. Good to see your name. Long time.
Excuse me for tonight, please.
It's okay.
So it seems with Toby and Tony, your hands are full, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how do you take time out, and what do you do when you have your me time? Do you have a me time? What do you do when you have your me time?
Okay, so me time, I'm trying to create. Okay, that is a work in progress. I'll tell you some of the things I do now, and so where I am and where I'm planning to get to. So you're right. Hands are very, very full. Okay, with both of them. The way I have me time, sometimes I just go away by myself. So my husband currently works in Nigeria. So it means that for most time, I'm solo parenting, which is hard. So sometimes when he comes, I'll just say, if I've planned something, so for instance, July was my friend's birthday and I went away to Cheltenham for about 4 days. And I just left him. Bond with your children. And I disappeared. That's when I have something planned. If I don't have anything planned, I have been known, at least I have done this every year for the past maybe 3 years, where I'll just book a room in a hotel. Not too far. Most of the hotels are like 15, 20, 25 minutes. Whoever is offering a good deal around the time I know he'll be around. So I can only do that when he's around. We have a nanny, but she doesn't work weekends. And really, nobody else can look after your child like the person you are co-parenting with. So he's the only person that I know that even if my mom is here, my mother-in-law is here, they are now in their 70s. There are many things I cannot leave to them because they've done their parts. Their grandparents, they're not parents, okay? So I cannot leave 2 children with them for 72 hours, 92 hours, 96 hours. Even me, that I'm the mother, I'll be tired. How much more somebody else? But if it's him, why not? So yes, I have on many occasions, well, not many occasions, at least once a year, at least I'll book a room in a hotel and just go. And I usually have all those things lined up. I'll go to spa, I'll go to a movie, and honestly, I just sleep. Like I check in and I sleep and I sleep and I sleep and I rest and I watch movies. So that's something else I do. I try to take snippets of time out. So instead of waiting for that one grand, like once a year when I can do that, because again, we have to be wise. If someone doesn't live here and he's coming every 2 months or every 3 months to try to make things, and some of the trips are just 1 week, you can't really, we also have to have family time. That's also important. We also have to prioritize that. So I can't be going away every trip, So, but if it's like a good, 3-week period or 4-week period, then I can take out 4 days or 5 days to do that. But I don't always wait for that. I sometimes just, when I get short snippets of time in the middle of my day. So I work part-time, Shola, if you didn't know. I don't work full-time, I work 2.5 days a week, really. And I also have a nanny who works full-time Monday to Friday who helps, So sometimes I just stay upstairs, or I tell them to pick up the kids and I go and watch a movie by myself. That's one of my favorite things to do. I'll watch a movie, I'll order popcorn, I'll sit in the cinema. In fact, I have been so tired the last few times I have done this that I have slept through every single movie. Last time I went to watch Barbie, everybody was making noise about Barbie. I got there, I ate, I ordered a little popcorn, I sat down, and I think I snoozed for like 20 minutes and I woke up and I continued. Because it's not really about the movie. I'm not really a movie person. I will go to the cinema, but ask me. For instance, Fast and the Furious 10 came out and I went to watch it. I've watched one tonight. Ask me what I watched. In any of them, I honestly cannot remember. If it's not a classic, like maybe Sound of Music or like maybe Wakanda that you watched twice, or was really every other thing like rom-com action, they will kill the enemy, the actor will survive. Mission Impossible. So it's really just for that whole thing of being by myself, switching off, not thinking of mommy or children or anybody else. I have friends who are very generous who will send me spa tickets, like, oh, you must take yourself out. So, as I said, work in progress. I wish I could have more me time. I wish I could do more, but at least I'm doing what I can. And I hope as I grow older, I'll be able to take more time and relax. But yes, I watch movies. I go away by myself. I catch up with friends. So one of the things we're planning to do. Right. So this holiday in Cheltenham was our first time doing that. And all of us got, together. So we are thinking of seeing how we can make it an annual thing where all the ladies, we can all leave our children and go on holiday for, even if it's 3 nights, 4 days, like a girls' trip. We're all at the stage now where our children are school age. So we're seeing how we can make that happen. So, yeah.
Well done. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have I said too much or not enough? Please let me know.
I think you've said enough, and I just admire the fact that you realize that you need that me time.
Absolutely important.
Yeah, and you're doing that because it just makes you more productive and a better mom.
See, men know how to prioritize themselves.
Well
Let me
done.
just tell you. My husband knows how to prioritize. No, so you better learn. That's a wonderful man. He will do everything with the children, everything. But why? So you have to. You have to know how to do that too.
Dr. Wulade has a question.
Yes. Can I ask my question?
Yes, you can ask your question. Go on.
Yeah, Seun, well done.
Hi, Chipola.
Wow.
Hi.
Yeah. I thought your husband has moved permanently to UK. I didn't know that you guys have still short meal between UK and Nigeria. Wow, that's huge for 15 years. I really wish to know him and get some tips from me, because I see myself taking that path very soon. So I really need to learn some 1 or 2 things from him, because I don't know how you guys have been doing it, but I really wish you can give me 1 or 2 tips how to go about it, because it's something very, very, very huge. Because I don't know how couples do that, but I really wish I can learn 1 or 2 things from you guys. Thank you.
Okay, it's not the best scenario. I'll be the first person to tell you. And we certainly feel like it has been thrust upon us. It's not a decision that was taken lightly. I'm coming, hold on.
Okay.
Maybe I should just before she comes back, maybe I should just add this to the question, the same thing Jibola was asking. So is there an end in sight for this kind of arrangement? Or is it something that, well, whenever he ends, that's when he ends? Or there's already a plan in that? I did 5 years and I know it wasn't like they would say, it wasn't yam. It was not easy. But do you have any like an expectation of an end in sight for that arrangement? And by the way, long time. Good to see your face, Cheryl.
He didn't hear you. He didn't hear anything you said. So you have to start it again.
Oh, did she stand up? I didn't know. Okay.
Well, she took out her earphones. She was talking, so she didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
So
it will be okay to wait until she gets back. Or maybe you can echo it. Is she back?
I'm back.
I'm driving now, so I can't.
I'm back, Dr. Anjari, sorry.
Okay, good to see your face. So I think just to add to what Dr. Nadi just asked, that so for that arrangement, is there an end in sight? Is this something that is, because I did 5 years of shuttling and all of that, and I know it wasn't easy. So is it an arrangement that just let's do it for as long as it lasts? 15 years already now. Do you have an end in sight with the arrangements?
Oh, okay. So sorry, I think I have misunderstood. It wasn't 15 years constantly. It wasn't right from the onset.
Oh, I see.
Okay, yeah. So no, it wasn't right. I moved first, and then he came and moved, and then we lived together for a while. But then he went back to Nigeria to work. So it hasn't been right from the onset. No. Is there an end in sight? So there was supposed to be an end in sight. Then we had children, and then the children had additional needs, both of them. So as it happens, here is better for them in terms of schooling, in terms of healthcare. So yes, there's an end in sight. We're not exactly sure when it will be, but we've started working towards it. So looking at jobs, most likely it's the part in Nigeria that will be moving over here, because it's now not just two people. We also have to think of the little humans that we take care of. So it hasn't always been. And yes, there's an end in sight. I cannot exactly say when. It's work in progress. But yeah, we've had deliberations and we're looking at options, especially since the world has opened up now since COVID, where there's a lot more flexible roles where people can work from home. To answer Jibola's question, it's not the best scenario. As I said, it was sort of thrust upon us, and it wasn't as if when we set out, we're like, oh, we're going to be living apart for such long times. No, it wasn't always the plan. And I would also tell you that there are many, many disadvantages to it. So I don't even know that I can give you any tips, because our situation is very unique. I don't think many will survive it. So yes, I don't advise it unless there's absolutely no option. I don't know if Temi knows that I took some time out of training to live in Nigeria for almost a year. I took a break from GP training.
I didn't know.
Okay, I did. 2015, I was in Nigeria for almost a year. I just came and lived in Nigeria, and then actually got work. Okay. I was working with an NGO in VI for that period, and then came back to do the 1 year of GP training. I came back and did CSA, and then started working as a GP. So yeah, so we've also had like this long breaks in between where somebody goes, somebody comes. COVID, it was here for most of it because it was able to work from home, like lockdown and all of that. So so Jibola, sorry, I don't have any tips. I'm sure if you ask him, he will just shake his head and say it's the grace of God. I'm sure he'll just say it's the grace of God, but I can tell you that it's not advisable for many.
I understand.
Yeah, because even as much as we love each other and as much as we're committed, when you come back together, there's still a period of just getting used to each other again and, thrashing out some issues and all of that. So, yeah.
Thank you for sharing. We have another hand up, Layo, Dr. Adeyemo. Let's hear your question. Yola.
Finally. You know what? Hi, Seun. Hi, everyone. I'm actually in a training, so I've been waiting. I logged in. The spirit led me. I did not know it was Seun. I was like, during my break period, but break is over now. So I just wanted to say that Seun, and mine is not a question, and I'm going to make the seats cooler for you. Just want to say I admire you so much. I admire your strength. I know a lot of people probably tell you that, but I thought I should let you know today that you're a very strong woman, and I really admire that. And you know what you want, and you go for it. That's a very beautiful trait. So please keep it up. And thanks for being there. Even though we haven't spoken in a long while, I know you're there.
Well, thank you.
That very much. I have to go back, guys. Bye-bye, everyone.
All right. Okay,
bye.
Thanks, sis.
Yeah, there's somebody that usually asks questions. I've not had her question. Ayofe Oluwa and Dr. Durojaiye and who always ask questions. And Abimbola Zaha. Let's hear your voices now. What's going on? Who is going to build the cats? You have a question for our guests.
Okay, while they are maybe coming up, let me just ask another question because
go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I think I can lend a voice to what Layo said about strength. Seun had always been a very powerful lady. I was just thinking now.
Yeah.
Just a question about right now. I know you definitely will have a local church or something that you attend in UK. So what is there a particular role you play in church? That aspect of your life, if you can let us maybe let us in into it a little bit.
Yes, so I attend a local church. I'm a strong believer in local church and in the local community of Christians and believers. It was something I took very seriously when I moved to Newcastle. I went to a few churches, I spoke to a few friends and visited people and prayed about it. So I currently attend a church called City Church Newcastle. It's a diverse intergenerational church, been around for many years, right in the heart of the city. I think one of the things I loved about it, so I started attending in 2015, I think. So I got to Newcastle in 2013. I got to the Northeast in 2013. I got to Newcastle 2014. I started attending church in 2015. One of the things I liked about it when I got there is that it's a family church. When there's something, it's a family church. We have people in their 80s and 90s. We have generations, basically. The founder of the church has retired, his pastor in the church, his son was a colleague, he's a pediatrician, his wife is my friend, their children attend, the parents still attend. You'll see generations, like 3 generations, 4 generations in church, everybody active together. You see 90-year-olds, you ask about so and so, oh yes, they moved their husband to a care home. But it is still very robust. Many, many children, like people don't leave. You have many students. So yes, I absolutely love the church. One thing though, it's very British. And if you've lived here, you know that people are not all out with their faith like that. Also, when you grew up like we grew up, and I'm sure Pastor Sukome knows, and Temi, they know what you're talking about, where you've sort of had strong meat, as it were. The church, this particular church, sort of feels like a bit, they don't believe in LGBTQ, ABL, whatever. They are Christians, born again, they love God. But it's also very, the children's church, they'll just be giving them ice cream. But I'm very clear as to why I attend the church. And I also know where I get other sources of nutrition and nourishment from, which is why Temi will meet me at other programs. She will invite me to things. I'm very clear that it's a community church. We live in a part of England where it's hard to find many middle-class people who are Christians. So, for instance, children go to nursery or school, yes, middle class, but if you check all the activities, volleyball Sunday morning, football Sunday morning, swimming Sunday morning, piano Sunday morning, because they don't do church, they're not Christians, Sunday morning for them is rest day or any other day. So just having that place where you meet other people that believe in God, where families are welcome. So it's a community church. Do I serve in the church? Yes, I used to. I used to serve in the welcome team. And I had a few other roles as well, volunteering with Action Foundation. The church has quite a very strong work with refugees in the Northeast from Iraq and Iran. I stopped serving around when I got pregnant. And I haven't been able to go back to working because, the commitment to, there's no way I'm going to put 2 little children to get to church an hour before on a Sunday. And even the children's church, they'll just keep asking me. So, yes, I go to church. Am I active? I'm active in the cell groups. I have friends there, but no, I don't actively serve. And I certainly am not in a leadership position in church at the moment. I'm a firm believer, having felt many kinds of ways about many things. I'm now a firm believer in life being in phases and seasons. And in this season and phase that I am, there's only so much I can do. So I love God. I am committed in many ways, but not actively serving in that particular church. I serve in, so there's a foundation I work with called Awesome Churches Foundation. Mrs. Adinowa's foundation. I serve there. I have quite a number of leadership roles there. That's easier for me to do, because lots of it is virtual. With summits once a year. So yeah, I'm still an active Christian, but in my local church, no, I'm not. I'm not serving currently.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, there are lots of seasons and phases. It's good to understand that one size doesn't fit all. There's a hand up. Michael Ayonfelua, let's take your question, which would be the last one for the evening before you give us some closing remarks. Michael, let's hear you. Ayonfelua, hand is raised.
Thank you. Hello, Stasha. How are you doing?
Well, thank you.
I want to give kudos to you and your husband for you guys to take that decision. It's not an easy decision to take. I will not lie to you. Distance. There's no distance in the spirit. But I want to thank God for you guys' life and your commitment to God and to each other. Now, I don't have too much questions. I just only have 2 questions in one concerning parenting. I want to ask, do you give birth to your children outside Nigeria or in Nigeria? That is the first question.
Here in England, I give birth to them here.
Okay. Now, that answer bring another question. Now, you gave birth to them in England. How easy do you find it, like in raising your children in your own culture, even in the strange land? How do you find it easy, like introducing Yoruba cultures to them? Did you understand Yoruba? Do you tell this? Yeah, Yoruba. Like your husband, I guess your husband is a Yoruba person.
Yes,
okay, you're a Yoruba person, like teaching your children our own culture, not in England culture. How easy is that? Did they catch up with it? Did they find it easier to able to blend and to to be, to adapt to our own culture or to embrace our own culture? That is the question I want to ask you.
Okay, that's a very good question. I'm actually thinking about it. So, first things first, culture is more than language. So language is one part of culture, but there are other parts. The way you frame the question can be interpreted in a number of ways, but I'll take it as, are you talking about teaching children the Yoruba culture or the Nigerian culture? It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one because of how my children are. Without going into too much detail, but yes, they understand some Yoruba phrases. So if you're talking only about language, no, they cannot carry on a full conversation in Yoruba like I can. And I'll be the first person to hold my hands up and say, even my Yoruba is a bit sketchy. Okay, there was one movie that came out on Netflix. I mean, one movie, I think Warrior or something, either Netflix or Prime. I put it on what's it called, subtitles. I had to be stopping and rewinding. I'm like, man, this one I really speak Yoruba. Is it that I never understood Yoruba, or is it that being abroad has buttered my own Yoruba? So, but no, they can't even speak at my own level yet. But there are other reasons for that. In terms of culture, as I said, language is just one aspect of culture. So there's dressing, isn't there? There's greeting and other things as an attitude. There's food. All of those make culture. So I try as much as possible within what's acceptable and appropriate to introduce that and imbibe that. It's tricky because it's something one has to do. One has to be very intentional with. One of the things I hope to be able to do was to be able to travel very frequently with my children. We weren't able to do that for the first. They're still very little anyway, so it's not like I have much older children or I have teenagers. But we weren't able to do that. We weren't able to do that for the first 4 years of their lives. We think now we are getting to the state now where we'll be able to travel with them. And I'm a firm believer in traveling with children, taking them back to where they've come from. I keep threatening Toby the boy, because every time he sees Amala, he would he just doesn't even want to see it. He doesn't even want to taste it. Once he just said that it's black and he's not interested, I'm like, yeah, from our way, you don't have choice. So I always threaten, I'll just go and drop in Ibadan with grandma, and I'll just go to Lagos with my husband, and whatever becomes of you, they can't kill you there. To be back where you eat it. So I wish I can do that, or we can travel more frequently with that. But as I said, we're hoping that they were very, very ill as babies. So that has put a limit to how much we can travel and generally move outside of here. But I think soon and very soon we'll be able to take them home, because really, and experiencing culture comes, I think it's very, very hard to be trying to force things on people when they are not seeing it in their everyday. I think it's easier when they're just in that environment. But also there's an overriding culture, which is the culture of the kingdom. I think that's even more important to teach the children. And even that, anyone that has children in any Western world country will tell you that even that is a battle to try to imbibe in your children. So just praying with them, just them saying their confessions, them learning memory verses, them even understanding praise and worship and some songs, even just imbibing that kingdom culture in them. Like for instance, I was talking with a few medic moms, and they were saying that, their children, so a 5 or 6 year old will tell you that, they want to have a birthday party, but they only want to invite 6 people. Now, this woman was confused because the other children in the class had invited her children to parties. Now is the child's party. She's saying that she doesn't want to invite her friends. Maybe she had a fight with them or whatever. And other women were telling this particular mother that is the child's choice at 6 years old or 7 years old. At what point do we see children kindness, being fair, gratitude? That no, it's not just, when you fight with people, whatever, it's just like little principles here and there that you can imbibe. So I think, yes, there's Nigerian culture and being proud of their heritage. And I really hope that I can continue to do that. That's why they don't have any Christian names. Their names are Oluwatobi and Oluwatoni. And when they try to funkinize and call them Toby and Tony, I'm like, actually, do you know it's a Nigerian name? It's Oluwatobi. So it's not T-O-B-I. It's not T-O-B-Y. It's T-O-B-I. So there's that Nigerian culture. We are trying. It's hard. They understand a few phrases. They know a few praise Nigerian songs. They eat some Nigerian food, not all. Definitely not the variety that I and my family, when I say my family, my husband, my mother-in-law enjoy. So there's that, but there's also the kingdom culture that we're trying to raise them in, which, because of my beliefs, is even more important than the Nigerian culture. But you may disagree.
Awesome. That's awesome. Kingdom culture is the main thing. The main. Somebody
but it is hard. It is hard, and we're trying. So once you get into my house, it's very Nigerian. We speak Nigerian. We eat Nigerian food. They eat a mix, Nigerian and British, but we try. We can only try as much.
Yeah. Keep making the efforts to make it work. Yeah. You're doing well. Well done. Well done. People would have difficulty coping with one child, actually. So coping with two children solo sometimes is quite a task. So we thank God for you. Yeah. Someone's put a question in the chat box. At what point in life would you consider having lived a fulfilled life?
That's a really good question. At what point in life would I personally consider having lived a fulfilled life? I don't think I would be able to say that until maybe on my deathbed or after I die. I think at every point in time, although it's important to be able to assess where you are, as I said, stages and phases in life, at every point, if you're living life according to God's purpose, what God has called you to do, and you're obeying, I think you can say that you are fulfilling purpose for that phase and time of your life. Fulfilled life, I think is a long-term project. I certainly turned 40 this year. Okay, so I certainly am not going to be saying now that I have lived a fulfilled life. And considering how, when I was 20, I thought 40-year-olds were old, and now my husband is 45, so 50 is knocking on the door. I'm certainly looking at it and thinking, even 50, 60, they are coming really, really soon. So I don't think that I'll be saying that I have lived, but I do hope that at whatever point in life, I haven't wasted time. I have obeyed promptly whatever God has set in my heart to do. And I have made impact part-time, such that at the end of it, as I said, this question is a long-term project. I'll be able to say, yes, I did my bit, I lived, and God had the daughter on earth.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you. That has been Dr. Seun Durojaiye, woman of substance. So tell us, what are your parting words to the singles in the house? What do you have to tell the singles? And what do you have to tell the married? And then that would be your parting shot. And what is your favorite verse of scripture? You have a favorite verse? Those are the questions.
Okay, what do I have to tell the singles? I think the singles are in a very, 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 very fortunate position. Yes, I think you are. I think as a single person, it's a season of life where you can do a lot, you can be a lot, you can develop yourself to be the ideal spouse, in quotes, that you want for yourself. You can serve God unhinderedly, you can travel, you can go for, you can enjoy life, you can learn, it's a wonderful season. But it's also a season where, I said, you can build an intimate relationship with God, you can enjoy yourself, you can know yourself. Self-awareness is very important. Identity, such that when you finally meet somebody, you're meeting the person as a whole person, you know who you are. So you're not going to be bending over backwards to please somebody and doing what you are not naturally inclined to do, because it won't work, because that's not you. So I think if you're single, enjoy it. Do not rush. Pray for God's leading. That's very, very, very important. Yeah. I think don't beat yourself down because you're single. I think enjoy every phase of life. Pray for God's leading in terms of who you'd marry. I think if I could go back, there are many things I would have done when I was single. I would have prayed about my children. I would have, there are some deep things. There are some things you can settle before they even begin to show, before things begin to sprout. So you can do the work then, you can build that intimacy, then you can say those confessions, then you can pray and say things into the future. Then you should also remember, I think this is for single women, that as much as men are choosing you, or you feel like men are choosing you, you also have the power, I don't know if that's the right term, the power, the authority, or the responsibility to also choose. Like, you're not an item on the shelf waiting to be picked. You also should have what you're looking at and be able to say no, regardless of what phase, whether you're 30 or 35 or 40, to be able to be saying, no, this doesn't fit what God's standard is for my life, and not, bend over backwards for the first person that comes. So yeah, that's for single people. For married people, yeah, I'll leave it together now. I'm learning a lot of flexibility in marriage. So yes, well done and kudos. I honestly pray that we all enjoy our marriages. I pray that our marriages will fulfill the purpose that God has intended for it to fulfill. I pray that it would be fruitful, blessed unions. And our children, which is the jara on top of it, would also be blessings in the world. So that's, I don't really have a pattern word. That's the prayer that I pray for everyone who's married. My favorite scripture, there are many of them, but I think one of the ones that stand out for me is Romans 8:28. The 8:28, the 8:28. Yeah, for we know that all things work together for good for them that love God and are called according to his purpose. That's that is one of my favorite ones that I've held on to right from when I was a student. So,
Awesome. Thank you so much. You have given us lots to chew on. It's been a lovely session. Lovely having you. Thank you. God bless you. God bless your family, your husband, your children, your work.
Amen. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Hi, Seun. Hi, Dr. Seun. Can you hear me? I knew Dr. Theo, my very first job in the NHS as a very junior doctor.
Hi. I didn't know I was mute.
He was our bro. Hi, Theo.
Small world.
Really small world. Hi.
On
that, are you okay?
I'm very well, thank you. Prof and Mommy. Thank you, ma.
Thank you very much. Nice to hear from you.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, sir.
You are doing well.
On that note, we'll be rounding it up on meet and greets for tonight. We'll be ending with our closing words. So just repeat after me. I live in love.
I live in love.
I stay in peace.
I stay in peace.
I shine my light.
I shine my light.
I use my power.
I use my power.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Amen. Thank you, everybody, for joining.